This episode of the Blerd Mob contains explicit language. While we want everyone to enjoy the show, sometimes we may say things that are not appropriate for all ages. So, in other words, Mom, Dad, Granny, we cussing. Discretion is advised.
Honestly,
Release your job. What Beyonce
don't-
said, release your job.
Don't listen to none of those people. Those people probably already had about 2 years worth of salary or something saved up to just up and leave. Don't listen to these people. You will go broke.
Fact.
You will go broke.
King G. Grow Site ENT. Rock with it. Rock with it. Rock with it. Rock with it. Let me pop my shit. Let me pop my shit. Hands up.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Blerd Mob, your hub for all things black and nerdy. I am your host, Foop, joined by my two co-hosts, Ryan and Ralph. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other streaming service, make sure you hit that follow button so you can get updates from the mob.
And if you lovely people are out there watching us on YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications for future uploads.
We ain't getting no subscribers from the last time you did that, Ryan, so I'm gonna need you to
Yes,
step
we
it up.
did. You capping. I was the subscriber list. We have been getting... I'm finna check right now.
No, please.
Cap.
Jesus.
Cap.
But we have a special guest today. We have comedian, streamer, and as on his Instagram, charity mastermind, Twisted Journey. So what's up, Twisted Journey?
It's good. Good to be here.
So to get the conversation started, we are officially stepping into October, which is spooky season. So last night, I went to go see the scary movie Smile. And it was okay. I'm not here to put out any spoilers. What I want to know from all three of you guys is what scary movie, effed y'all up? Y'all watching and made y'all question reality. You didn't want to go to bed at night. What scary movie effed y'all up?
Insidious.
I'm scared every time you call me.
So I'm the scary movie.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You're top tier, but Insidious. Insidious is the only scary movie that actually really scared me.
So
I grew up on scary movies.
Really? Insidious?
That's the
Other
only
than-
one. I
other
watched
than
all the
Insidious-
Jasons, Elm Streets, Halloweens.
I don't know.
What was you about
I
to
was
say,
gonna
Ralph?
say, yeah, you just stopped.
Jeepers
No, you
Creepers
just stop
was funny.
talking.
Stop talking.
Jeepers Creepers was funny.
It was.
It said it
most
was
scary movies are
scary.
funny.
The
about
only
you,
scary
Twisted
scene
It wasn't
that
really that
I
scary to me.
remember.
I gotta say it. Not
It was
the
scary
current,
to
not the
you?
current one.
I was saying the
back
first
then.
The old school
The
one.
old
older.
school?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was younger. Yeah.
Old school clowns are creepy. Oh, the way
Yeah.
they used to dress clowns back in the 80s, that stuff is scary. The movie for me that completely effed me up would have to be that scary movie Mirrors. The ones when
gotta
the
see that.
demons is, to put it short, there's demons in the mirrors. So any reflection, I won't even say mirrors, they follow you through any reflection. And if they want to kill you, they'll kill you through the reflection. That movie tore me up because you know how many reflections there are in the world, in the bathtub, in the mirror, in your car, the computer screen.
Yeah. I could see that. Anywhere you look, you could just instantly
That one,
get
if you
your
have
neck
not
snapped.
seen hello, just me looking in my glasses would tear me up. Man, they had a whole scene where this lady died in the bathtub, and my grandma had the exact same bathtub that the lady died in. When I tell y'all I did not want to take a bath at my grandma's house after watching it.
So you took a bath at somebody else's house?
No, I had to
did you
take a
just
bath
not
at my
take a
grandma's
bath?
house. I had to Nah, I took a bath.
So you took a whole bath and wet up her flow.
Took a bird
Nah,
bath.
I took a bath. I took a
Right.
real quick one. Like I hopped in like I was in that jump like the demons ain't gonna get me.
Best.
Okay. I was in that jump like the demons not gonna get me. I'm finna get in and get out.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god.
But I just wanted to know because it's like it's so many scary movies out there, and it really be ones that just be like, "Yo, why would y'all make this?" Like now I can't go to sleep at night.
I would say The Ring messed me
I
up
don't know.
too.
See, my mom would play them like back to back. The Ring.
Yeah, I say The Ring too.
Yeah, The
The
Ring.
Ring messed me up.
When I was younger.
What about?
I think it was The Grudge when the lady was taking a shower
Yeah,
and the hands start coming out the back. It was
What about them Chucky movies?
No, that
Chucky
wasn't really
ruined.
scary.
Chucky wasn't scary, but when I watched Chucky when I was younger, it just completely ruined like Barbie dolls and
Annabelle
any
ain't
other.
do that.
But Annabelle came after Chucky though.
True.
So the first time I
Yeah.
saw Chucky, I was like 3. So kill a doll walking around, and then you turn around and people buy me Barbie dolls and Bratz dolls and them American Girl dolls. Like, no, like I know where this goes. I know what they do at night. But to get into it, today we have brought Twisted Journey on the Blerd Mob to basically discuss his journey as a content creator, discuss where he's started, where he's come from, and basically just get some insight on what it's like to be Twisted Journey. So my icebreaker question for this interview is, what is your definition of a content creator?
Really, anybody's a content creator for real. Like anybody that makes something, uploads something is really considered a content creator, but it's just what defines what you do. It could be broken down to like many different things. But I consider myself like a all-in-one content creator because I like to learn and like do stuff in different topics and niches. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I do classify in general as a comedian creator in general.
So what specifies like what draws the line between content creator and comedian creator, since you gave that one a specific name?
So comedian creator is basically, just uploading comedy videos or sketches, stuff like that. Other content creators may just upload like everyday life, like vlogs or, just taking pictures and stuff like that on Instagram. Those are like pretty much the general creators, like everyday life. But like you can niche down. I'm just niching down like specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there an end goal for most comic creators, like comedian creators, to like? Is all of their goals to aim to be stand up? Like, is that still the end goal, or is it I want to basically thrive on YouTube and social media as a comedian?
So, I mean, I can't really speak for everyone, but like how I feel, I think a lot of people start off as sketch comedians, like doing parodies or something like that. And then maybe like later on throughout the years or whatever, they'll like ease into stand up just to try it. I feel like in general, if you can do stand up, you can really do like kind of anything in comedy.
Facts.
So like most people start off as doing sketch and then go into stand up. But
is it difficult to kind of like, I guess, break the mold, since like I know like a lot of sketch comedy got really big with Vine, and then it shifted to like videos on Instagram, and now we got TikTok, and then Instagram brought the reels back, so now you just see it on both platforms. And it's kind of like, do you feel like it's cluttered, or is it hard to diversify from all of that?
Well, it's definitely hard to stand out now because everybody's doing the same thing now. Like you'll maybe see a small creator that maybe take off from a viral video. Now all the big creators are following through, copying the same thing, or vice versa. But it's just hard to stand out because mostly what everybody I see doing is doing comedy sketches or like viral parodies or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
most people lean into like trying to do comedy, but like everybody's doing the same thing. So it's really just hard to diversify yourself. Like you gotta really just do something different to stand out now.
Mm-hmm.
But like
I feel that.
it's definitely oversaturated now.
So with that, like where how you were saying that everybody's making skits and everybody's making parodies, and it's getting harder for you to stand out as a comedian creator. So what motivates you to continue making content and continue making these parodies and sketches, even though it's
Um
getting harder to make yourself stand out?
well, I'll say because I follow a lot of people in general that like are like my motivation. So like I grew up watching the Chappelle show, Dave Chappelle, um, Wild and Out shows, um, Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, Mike Epps. Like I started watching them, so like you'll see them doing stand up, but also like you'll see like bits and pieces of them doing sketch comedy and stuff like that too. So like that kind of inspired me and just motivated me to do it because like they started off like from the bare bones to scratch and worked their way up. So I'm kind of just following the same path.
Okay. So what's your formula for standing out? Like what makes your content unique? What Without giving us too much, you got to keep your secrets in the bag. But if you had but if you had to give us
Um,
one thing that
Get your
this
notepads
is what
out.
makes Twisted Journey content, Twisted Journey, what would be that one thing?
so I do everything from the whole production process, from the scripting, the idea, the editing, the marketing. I do like the whole 9 yards. But like what I like, what separates me the most is like I keep learning like editing, like everything with editing and storytelling and stuff like that. I learn how to make that and just apply it like trial and error, even if it's not funny or that good looking. I'll still try to upload it or share it just to get feedback to improve like from what I posted already. So like I constantly just scale like on a regular basis and just I just apply that to like in each video or someone else's video from like
Okay.
just feedback. So like really feedback is what kind of separates me because I upgrade every time.
Okay.
Okay. And I know that you also do Twitch and everything. Would you say that Twitch and other platforms like that are an extension of your comedy? Or is that you branching out into newer realms and stuff as Twisted Journey?
So when I did started streaming on Twitch, like playing games with everyone, I started to do that. Like I started to like put that like, oh, I gotta say a joke or something every now and then. But like really it's just natural interaction. Like when I play the game with you, like it's fun, like it's funny, like we all laugh and joke. It's nothing really serious. So I like that real world interaction. I don't
Right.
like the scripted anything or you gotta say this or all that. I like everything natural. So you'll definitely see like the natural, like me interacting with people. It depends on the person, but like you'll see that natural interaction with me just interacting with people when I do stream. Um, yeah,
Okay. We ain't been on the game in a minute though, so
yeah.
thanks
I'm
for
I'm
bringing
I'm
that
coming
up.
back. I don't stream on Twitch anymore. Twitch
Yeah, I
is
heard.
yeah,
Making
it's
some
going through some
some
changes,
weird,
some
yeah.
crazy changes. Yeah, gambling, all that with other big streamers, and
Yeah.
it's
I've
not
been
really
hearing
for
about that
small
too.
creators. Really, they
Mm-hmm.
really only appeal to big creators. But like that's why like I do everything for YouTube now because it's a long format platform. You can push shorts and stuff on that. Um, Customization, you can customize everything. I like making thumbnails and stuff like that, so I
Yeah.
prefer that.
Okay. I
So
guess
what would you say your biggest challenge? Because you talked about how you basically you just do the whole, you are the production
Yeah,
from the time the script gets written to the time you post it on social media. That is all you.
yeah,
So I see that like from even looking at the stuff that we do, like from the time we record all the way up to when we post it, like that's a whole process within itself.
yeah.
And that's three of us doing it. So you by yourself, I can only imagine like the challenges and the hurdles you have to hop through. So with that, what would you say your biggest challenge as a content creator to get your from the starting point all the way up to where you reveal it to everybody else?
So just to kind of drop back your question, so you're asking, how do I go through the whole process from start to end by myself, or like,
Or like what's your biggest challenge with the doing you being the production by yourself?
uh,
What would you say your biggest challenge is?
um, time management. This stuff takes up a lot of time, more than usual. Uh, Even more than my main job. Like this still takes up more than my main job. Each video, so people think that, like, especially like with skits, like most skits, like you will just record yourself and just upload. Um, you can do it that way, or you can really just polish it and take your time. And for like maybe like a 1 minute, 2 minute video, maybe a 30-second video could take more than like 2 hours or maybe 8 hours just to kind of just make it pretty, make it good. So it just depends on how much work you put in. But like I'll say time management, because depending on how you go about things, if you're not organized, it can take you like hours, maybe days, maybe weeks to just make one video. It could be 30 seconds, a minute, 30 minutes, like stuff like that. It all depends on your time. So you like if you stay structured, organized, like you can get through a lot of stuff faster.
Yeah, I could
So if you
definitely
was talking
attest to
to a
that.
newer content creator, would you like if you was talking to a newer content creator, would you tell them to have a team or like
Uh so that so it all depends on like if you got the same mindset, because like me, I'm doing this all by myself. I need a team. I'm screaming for a team. I'm begging for a team right now.
facts?
But I can't, it doesn't make for me, and this is why I haven't like really just brought anybody in, because it's like I can't tell nobody what to do or like how to like do stuff when I don't got myself together. Like it's unorganized. So of course,
Facts,
like you could
yeah.
bring in
Yeah.
somebody, be like, okay, we can do this together, blah blah blah. But I'd rather have something organized so like nobody would be like no doubts, frustrations, and stuff like that later on. So that's why I haven't personally have a team yet. But like anybody new, if you got like-minded people that's on the same page, that's willing to commit time and everything, I say start with a team. Uh, it could be as big as you want, as small as you want. Everyone should have a role. Like nobody should have to just do one thing all by themselves. Like you can have help. Like you, that's why other people are there. But
Hmm.
just have to like just learn. Like you gotta have the mindset to learn, and it will be mistakes. Like nothing has to be perfect. So a lot of people just nitpick about that. Like have to be perfect every time. Like you don't. So
I rock
No,
with
I,
that.
I f- I feel that. So like what are you using to manage all of your tasks? Cuz there's content creators out there that are like you that don't have a team that's doing everything from front to back. So
mm.
how are you managing and maintaining everything that you got going on?
So like about a year ago, so like there's actually a lot of management tools like you can use as a creator, really for everyday use. I used to use Asana. It's like an app and like a website. It's like how you use for like production or like coding and stuff like that. Like using
Mm-hmm.
Kanban boards and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You can like kind of set like an epic and then subtasks for that, assign people or yourself, and close it out into different uh like timelines. I used to use that. I don't use that no more because it was like kind of it was tedious, but like the new tool is still tedious, but like it's more good for my workflow. So like I use Notion now. I don't know if you heard of that. It's a management tool. It's like good. I think every creator or anybody like just everyday use can just use it. And the way I got it set up, I got to split up to like different things. So like when I do comedy, when I do gaming, when I do potentially podcasting and like other stuff for like clients, stuff like that. I got to set up for each individual thing. Nothing is like attached to it. So I can like go in, assign stuff, and like I got it like kind of coded to where it's like it reminds you and show you like the progress and stuff like that. So I look at that every day.
Okay. Because we
Okay.
use Trello, which
Yeah,
is
or you can
kind of
use that.
has.
Yeah.
Okay. So either you would say Notion or Trello, either
Yeah.
or.
Yeah,
Okay.
either or is good. Everything I use are like paid versions, so like you don't have to like you do not have to go in and buy like none of this stuff. There's a lot of free tools. I just pay for everything because it fits my workflow.
Nah, I feel you. You
Mm.
definitely have to find the tools that fit your process. That's the number one thing. Like there's so like how you were saying there's so many management tools, but then you get in there and it's like this
Yeah.
doesn't work for
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do.
And you touched on something when you talked about the prices of everything. Like
Mm.
you hear a lot of motivational speakers or just folks in your neighborhood who'll be like, "Man, I quit my job and I did what I had to do. I followed my dreams."
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be real with you. This dream right here, the Blerd Mob, I don't think I could have did without having a job. Like, does that stuff get expensive? Like when you really got into your content creation and you was like, okay, I'm investing into this.
What's that work-life balance looking like?
Yeah, like
So,
dude, was that good advice? Like, do you feel like those folks are giving good advice when they said, quit your job and follow your dreams?
honestly,
Release your job. What Beyonce
don't
said, release your job.
don't listen to none of those people. Those people
Facts.
probably already had like about like 2 years worth of salary or something like saved up to just like up and leave. Like don't listen to these people. Like you will go broke.
Facts.
You will go
Yeah.
broke doing this stuff. I kid you not.
Nah,
You'll
for
go broke.
real.
I put a lot into this, just my personal setup in general. I'm now up to over 20,000 for my whole setup, home studio.
Ooh.
He got the nice
you
toys,
don't
y'all.
this well if I show you like the stuff I have, you would probably not even be using like half of this. Like I don't recommend nobody getting like what I got unless you just doing like heavy duty like everything. But like yeah, this stuff gets costly. Like a lot of stuff you can do for free.
Look at Ralph.
For free, like a lot of stuff you can do for free. Like there are workarounds. Like I just see a lot of people. Oh, I have to have the best stuff. I have the latest stuff like that. Or my stuff have to be 4K, 6K. Audio has to be perfect. Or all these lights and stuff like that. You don't need all this like at all. So you looking like
Hey,
Nah, he said 20K. I thought I was selling an arm and a leg to get
No.
my stuff set up.
Right.
Golly.
I mean, I will say it's about what you're passionate about, because I ain't gonna talk about how much all this stuff costs.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like
hey.
it's about what you're passionate about.
But at it is that. But like I mean, you got folks that like just to like have stuff just to have it, or just to say like I got the latest stuff. I do got the latest stuff, but I use my stuff on a daily basis while working for my main job and while working for like the content stuff like that on a daily basis, day and night.
So do you have like a goal for like, okay, like is your goal to like make Twisted Journey and that organization, or is your goal to make this your full-time job, or are you still trying to continue with this as like a hobby?
So yes, so this is a hobby and a job for me. Like I actually I started to make it a job because I fell in love like as a hobby, because it was times where I did just like kind of just wanted to give up a lot of doubts and you can't do this and that, but like that kind of just motivated me to do more. Plus I already had the equipment and stuff for it, so it's like why not do it? Like I wish I would pay this amount of money and like not use it, or be like
Facts.
So that was really what motivated me to just keep going. Yeah, just keep going.
So what about burnout? Because like, you ever hear the stories of like folks will go into game development and they're playing way less games than they used to when they was really passionate about it. Like, how do you keep yourself passionate and still being in love with what you do as a comedian?
So I kind of got my schedule like structured for like every day to do something else, because most people think I just sit in front of the computer at home or something like that all day. I don't. I actually go out. I just don't post as much as people think like anymore. Like I'm starting back to post now, but like it's kind of every blue moon now. But like I'm trying to structure myself, like automate everything to just like post in general, like at least one video or something like that a week, or like in that sense, so like I can like get back to going out, traveling, doing stuff other than just making videos or filming.
Okay. So you
So would you?
mentioned your main job. So how
Mm.
do you balance like making sure
Oh,
you keep that main job in
I just
line?
yeah. So with my main job, I'm just grateful that I have like a hybrid schedule. Like I am required to go in the office, but that's like 2 or 3 days out of the week. But I am grateful that like I can stay home when I want to or need to, or just because. Um, and the perks of that, I can travel and still work on the other content and stuff like that at the same time while I'm working. So I'm just grateful for that, because I get a lot of stuff. I kind of do. I wouldn't say I get away with stuff, but like I kind of can do like a lot of stuff at one time. So like I could just do two birds with one stone. But like as
I
far as
get
that, like I do, like to your previous question, I do want this to be like my main job as far as the content creation and all the other stuff to be that first. But like I have no reason or rush to get out of my main job just yet, because I want to establish
Right.
myself and like make a name for myself on the content stuff like that first before like everything just rolls in.
Yeah.
So what would
So
be the
would you
milestone that you got to hit to get to that point? Like, is it a salary thing? It is a notoriety thing?
Uh,
Like,
so it's definitely, so it's really salary. So like if I make a certain amount of money that pays more, like I don't need my main job no more, I would do that.
like,
Or
yeah.
like it's really not really about money for me, because it's really about opportunity. So like if the opportunity comes up and they be like, okay, we need you to do this or come do this, or for me or something like that, for like something, a big public figure or a company, stuff like that, or I'm required to just do content in general, I would do that. Like I'll leave my main job and do it and work on that. No matter, I won't say no matter what the salary is, because
It got to be
decent,
good.
decent to like what I'm making now for my main job. So
It costs too
So
much nowadays.
what would be your advice to content creators who also have a main job? Because like me, Ryan, and Ralph all have a main job, and then we do the podcast stuff along with it.
uh,
So what would be your advice to, I guess my question would be, would you advise people to find a job that they can flex around the content creation, or would you prefer that they make the content creation fit within the job? Because you said with yours, you have a lot of flexibility to where you can manage both.
uh, um, so do not quit your job to do this. Like that's kind of goes like back to that. Do not
First and
quit your job.
foremost.
Yeah, do not quit your job. That's my tip. Yeah, do not quit your job to do this. Like unless you haven't already been making like big money doing this, there's no reason for you to like quit your job to try to find flexibility to do this. But I would say you have to make it work. Like whatever main job, whatever you're doing now, you have to make it work. I lose sleep. I don't get enough sleep, to be honest with y'all. I don't. I'm up day and
Team
night,
no sleep. Team no sleep.
from 5 to 6 in the morning, and I probably go to
I
sleep at like
sleep.
1 or 2, maybe 3 a.m. every day. It just depends. Like I'm just hungry for work. I just want to work. I just want to get better. I got that mindset, like this drive to just keep going and get better. So like that's why I do that. You don't have to do this. Find time that fits in your schedule. But yeah, you gotta take breaks too. You gotta take breaks. I do take breaks occasionally, but you gotta find some time for like breaks. Like you can't just work every day. Like that's kind of draining.
So
What's
looking
your
at other content creators who've probably like failed, what have you learned from other people's failure? Like I think
Mm.
we've all had that one friend or one family member, or we've seen that one celebrity fall off. What have
Mm.
you learned from other people's failures?
You don't have to rush. I see like a lot of people really just rushing to just put out content. It's really quality over quantity. You probably hear a lot of people say the opposite, but I think it's quality over quantity. They rush to put out like several videos, maybe a day, just to I gotta get in the algorithm to post to get seen or stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like really, I feel like they're just literally just rushing to burn out. Like they're just burning out so fast. Like they got no more ideas or content, so now they're relying on other people's maybe smaller or bigger to kind of just copy their work to just
Yeah.
recreate something now. So that's why I do see a lot of people doing that now, and it's not fun to me anymore to like just see people do that. I want some originality. Like
Give
I
me that
can,
authenticity.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'll just say, just pace yourself. Like, just pace yourself. You don't have to. It can be just one video a week for your deadline or goal. Like, you don't have to make like 5 or 10 a week just to gain more followers or traction. Like, it's gonna come over time regardless. So you just gotta stay
Mhm.
consistent.
Okay. So you mentioned like working for public figures,
Uh,
and without us saying too much, we know you've been doing some big things, Twisted Journey.
mm.
So for the content creators out there listening, what advice would you give, like networking tips, any type of advice to people who want to work with those celebrities and those public figures?
Um. Well, first I would say one, niche down. So like I'm mainly in comedy, but I also do gaming, streaming, podcasting. Niche down because I kind of classify myself as a comedian first, and then like just a content creator in general. But like I'll say niche down. So like since I do comedy, do stuff within comedy. So if you really like trying to work in that space as far as like working with public figures and stuff like that, do your research, see what they're doing. Um, if they might have positions open available to like do stuff with them, apply. But like just don't come empty handed. Come with something that you can just like show off your best work or something like that. Um, and be like, I saw you had a position open. I want to apply. I'm familiar with your work. I love what you do, and just show them that. And no, and don't take offense or no hard feelings if they say no. They may just have you in mind, maybe just thinking about you or what you can do for them, stuff like that, and just wait. Like don't beg, don't you know go back and forth. Just be patient. If that don't work, move on to the next person, and the next person, the next person. So
Okay. So
So
would you
when it
say you have a portfolio? Like when you reach out, do you already have like a set up portfolio of
um yes and no. It just depends because like I don't just kind of do the same thing for the each person. I do something like I every time I reach out to somebody, I do something different. But like it just depends on like who that person is or like what they're doing. So like with like comedians, like a lot of comedians don't really have good marketing for real or presence like on social media. So like what I like to do in working with them, I like to do stuff around like kind of making them more aware or like just showing off like funny videos or something like that for them. So like I'll make something tailored to that specific person on their
okay.
style. Um but like it like just like doing stuff like this kind of just opens up different opportunities because you can like do more. I just wouldn't just do everything all at once. Like try to uh do something with this person and now you move on to this person and maybe like you're like full on um like on like kind of hard with them on a daily basis, but like now somebody reached out to you to do this. Like you got to kind of pick one and just go with it, because unless you got a team that will work, but if you're doing this by yourself, it's not really ideal.
Okay.
So I've heard somebody, like, I'm gonna preface this question. I've heard someone say, like, when it comes to this content creation thing, it's like everybody can get a piece of the pie. And when you talk about your networking and stuff, do you feel like that is prevalent in your industry, or do you feel like you more so have to compete against the other people in your industry due to it being overpopulated?
So it's definitely enough to go around. It's just you kind of have to constantly be seen. Like your name always has to like come up in the conversation on video, stuff like that. And so it's definitely much harder, especially for the new people starting. Because it's like you got no experience, but like you starting to get experience by just doing stuff. So you just really just kind of constantly just keep either like making videos or going to different events, stuff like that, and constantly just get your name out, because you want to, talked about, not in a bad way, but a good way.
You need that publicity.
Yeah.
Sound like me.
Okay.
Okay.
You need some publicity, Ralph.
Ralph said, "Look up Ralph Plays. Hurry up."
Oh God.
You got any questions for him, Ralph?
As he sips his drink.
As I sip some water, sir. Thank you.
Water can be a drink. I didn't say drink with a capital D or nothing.
I don't know.
Water is a drink.
I mean,
Ralph
I
said
do
y'all
be
gonna
coming up in here
know
with
that
drinks
this is
today.
H2O in this bottle.
I'm
Ralph
glad you
said
hydrated.
y'all gonna know it's H2O in this bottle.
I would say for me and other small content creators that are, trying to get established into this big ocean of other creators that's already been here years, what advice would you give, or what things would you say to just be consistent with, besides just uploading content, just being here?
Be patient. This is definitely a marathon. People are so quick to, oh, I got this crazy cool idea, oh, it's gonna go viral, and get disappointed later on. So I say just be patient, just keep uploading, try to at least one video a week. Stop really following trends. It's okay to follow trends, but you don't have to follow them every time. Like, be your own person, be unique. What makes you you? So just put that in your content. What makes you you? So just stand out. Just stand out.
Okay.
Okay.
To bounce off of Ralph's question, like, I know with some content creators, like even me, when I was starting the whole podcast thing, like, you always have the idea, but it's always that pre-execution phase of like, how do I get from the idea to my head to even start recording and getting in front of the camera? Like, what would be some advice you would give to people who have the idea but they don't know where to start?
So that's how most ideas start off, with a thought. So when you make an idea, it doesn't have to be full on perfect. Like the first time you just think of it or write it down. All my ideas start from a grain of salt. So like that's why I say like it'll start off from like an idea, like a niche or something like that. So I want to do something around like playing the game or something like that. But like which game? There's like hundreds and thousands of games to play. Call of Duty. So I'll do something like maybe trick shots in Call of Duty. Like just like think of stuff like you like, or like what others would like to see. So like um trick shotting in Call of Duty on this map. Like like most people would probably think like that's never been done or that's impossible, but like you can try to see if you can do it. Like that's just something to do. So like all ideas start off from a grain of salt. You can just branch on add to it as you go along to get your full thing, because it can like it started from the main idea. It's like schools, like main idea, supporting details, like stuff like that. So you got to apply that with your ideas.
Okay.
Okay. And as a comedian, like going off of your mentions of separating yourself, like I've heard comedians say anything in your life you can make funny, but at the same time you want to maintain your own personal life. Like where do you set like the boundary of I don't want to put too much of myself into my content and I still want to keep myself separated from said content, but still let your fans get to know you and who you are?
That's kind of a tricky question because it just depends on what you do or what you upload. Like people will see or judge or come up with something based off what you post. Um, so I mean, you could really make fun of anything. It's just it's like at the end of the day, it's up to you to like if you want to like give that information and be like, okay, this was like real or this was false. Like it's up to you. Like you don't always have to explain yourself through each joke and stuff like that because that's what makes it not funny anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really up to you.
Okay. Okay.
Good answer.
That's all my
Okay.
questions. I had fun asking you stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I had anything else. What about you, Ralph?
No, I don't have anything else.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a question for y'all.
Uh-oh.
What
He said, "Y'all
what
been grilling me."
what is like the what's like the best thing that you guys individually think of what you do now? Like what makes you want to do this? Like the Blerd Mob podcast.
I can start. Just seeing it evolve, like what you said, like being patient. Like when I first started this a year ago, we weren't getting nowhere near the traffic that we're getting now, or the interaction, or the views, or even like the segments that we branched off to. None of that existed a year ago. And then when it came around to the start of the second season, when I brought on Ryan and Ralph, then we really started to sit down and was thinking like, how do we upgrade what we've done before? How do we take this to the next level? So just seeing that constant evolution and seeing like the ideas that we've been pulling out and trying out for the first time and seeing it blow up to like ways that we didn't think it was going to blow up, or seeing how, the different avenues we can take with different pieces. That's what motivates me. Like the fact that I could just see this continue going, continue evolving. Like
Mm.
we put out an episode and you guys on the forefront, you could see us putting out the episode, listening to the audio, watching the video. But on the back end, we're working on some stuff that's about to come out 2 weeks from now. We're talking about ideas that we want to execute in 2023 and further. And it's just like seeing all of that, just a continuous cycle. That excites me.
Mm.
That excites me.
I would agree. It's like the evolution because all of us got our own professional careers, and I feel like, at least personally, like I'm tested at work. I'm tested on my business side, my business acumen, my professionalism, the skills that I bring to my job. And with Blerd Mob, I'm tested on a creative level. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? At work, it's how can I do this for the company, do what they want me to do? But now it's like, how can I do what I want, or rather what we want, do it better, continue to grow, continue to evolve, and continue to excel. And that's the fun part because I'm
Mm.
tested in a different way than what I'm already tested in my regular life. Plus, I talk to these dudes about gaming, anime, and stuff on a regular basis. Now we're doing it now we're doing it in such a way that we can actually get money off of it. We can get notoriety off of it, or we could just get more friends and network with other people who have the same passions as us. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm.
I like being tested in a different way than what I used to be.
Okay.
I would say,
What about you, Ralph?
um, I would say aside from our, our normal lives of just going to work every day, we know as a collective whole that can be very mentally draining, except we don't get that creative side tested enough from what we do at work. So having this as a creative test for us also continues to, grow ourselves in different areas aside from what work teaches us, just going forward in life. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure a good majority of people does not just want to go to work, come home, repeat the same thing over and over and over and over. So us having the ability to,
Right.
go into different areas to explore our creative side with, us doing the podcast and me doing all the a good majority of like graphic design stuff for the podcast and me branching out into streaming, my creative side is growing. As you've seen over the year that I've been, well, almost a year that I've been part of the podcast, all of the graphics things have been gotten better. Portia's been working more on, the intros, the outros for our episodes has gotten better. Just our overall feel of the podcast has just gotten better over the time, and I'm loving that. It actually brings our creative side more, and it's just pretty much like a blossomy flower. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Like sitting an hour and a half in a work meeting, it's like, oh my God, y'all, for real, why are we here? But then sitting an hour and a half to discuss what we want to do for this podcast, pulling all of these creative ideas and making something out of it. Like even with this tournament thing, like me and Ryan sat down for an hour at like 7:00. Who has a
This
meeting at
tournament,
7:00? But me and
this
Ryan
tournament,
sat
my
down.
baby, bro.
Like we left, we did a whole 8-hour shift at work. I had to go to class, and me and Ryan met up at 7:00 to just flesh out this whole tournament idea. And I didn't really care because, like Ralph said, I love it. Like having that medium to like have that creative outlet to just forget that I gotta go to work and program some shit the next morning and just focus on this right here.
I like that.
And also, we got an interesting dynamic. Like, we grew up. We was all in college. Like our development years, we spent together. So it's like another thing that really helps us is that we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So that helps the flower to bloom even more beautifully, bloomifully. I don't know.
Just say
But like,
anything.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Trying to sound
Ralph
good
said
for
you
the
ruined
camera.
his analogy. Ralph said you ruining his analogy.
It is what it is. But I mean, that's part of what really makes it great, bro. Like we have this dynamic, and Portia be talking like we'll get up here and we'll meet at Thursday evening just to link up again on Sunday evening and be like, hey, we gotta pick another day in the next week to meet up because this some good stuff.
Yeah, like I would not have imagined, to be completely honest, like a year ago, sitting down in front of this camera and starting this podcast, I would not have imagined like a year later and us being like at this level. Like we're nowhere near like where we could be. Like just looking at other content creators that are in on arena and just looking at like the different people who are really making names for themselves, like we're nowhere near where we want to be, but just in this moment I'm satisfied. And in this moment I know that if I'm satisfied now, I know damn well when we get to where we want to be, we're gonna be straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to say before we move on, can we acknowledge how Ryan has stepped up to do video editing too? Because the ones that know Ryan,
Twisted. They got me video editing.
The ones
they
that
really got
know
me video
Ryan,
editing.
You don't only
no, he don't do no work.
Yeah. Hey, if y'all know the dynamic between me and Ryan, I don't play. So I had to sit Ryan down and I had to say, Ryan, I was like, if you gonna do this, you gonna have to do it.
I like Twisted. I like being the face and the talker. I like being the ideas guy. And Fruit said, "Hey, Ralph handling that picture editing and all the graphics. You need to help with the video." I like,
when I came to that manual work, you got frustrated.
that goes back. That goes back to like, but that goes back to like the team thing. Like, when we first started it, it was me doing all the video and audio editing. Ralph was on graphics. And Ryan was putting together the captions and stuff and making sure that our social media was straight. But as we started developing all these different ideas, like Versus Tuesdays, mob reviews, even the tournament thing, it's like we had to be honest with ourselves and be like, we are being stretched to a limit that's like unrealistic with everything else that we have to do. So if we want to execute these ideas and if we want to step our game, then Ron's going to have to do more than make captions and post stuff on social media. I'm going to have to do more than audio edit and make graphics. Ralph is going to have to do more than, well, what he's already said. Like when he makes designs, Ralph steps up every time he makes a new
them thumbnails
design.
been looking good. They
So
been
it's
looking
like,
real
so
good.
like when it comes to these new ideas, it's every time it's a constant challenge. Like how we did this on Tuesday, now how do we make this better on Wednesday?
Yeah,
and
that's
the
what
second we produce, you go.
Oh, but yeah, that's gonna say, going back to like the learning thing. I said that's what you gotta do. You gotta be uncomfortable to be comfortable in this industry. You gotta, it's like it's no way avoiding that. Like you're gonna have to learn some stuff. You're gonna take some L's. It's just it's up to you to just progress.
And you can't get comfortable either.
Yeah.
Like when you start running, you got to keep running. Like you can in this, you cannot get comfortable because like you get to a point where people start noticing, and people start noticing in a good way, and people start noticing in a bad way. So it's kind of like you have to keep pushing that limit.
Look, I got the undertones of that, and I was like, yeah,
you have to keep pushing the limit. It's basically it's what Twisted Journey said. Like with all of these mediums, all of these avenues, Instagram Reels, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all of these avenues to put out content. Like you did your idea and you executed it. That was the first goal. Now the next goal is, what are you going to do next? Because there's 16 people right behind you about to do the same thing. And whether you started before them or started or after them, they can sweep past you. Yeah. You cannot get comfortable.
That was a great question.
You got any more questions for us, Twisted Journey, on your counter interview? Interview to our interview.
No, we like pretty much it was like 4, 5, 6, 7 different questions that came out of from the first question I asked, but that's all I got.
All right. Well, this ends our interview with Twisted Journey. We want to thank you for giving us your time, talking to us, spitting some gems, giving some advice to all of the content creators that are out there. Before you dip out, where can our audience find you?
Twisted Journey on all platforms. I do have a website that I brought back up, so everything is on my link tree, which will be in my Instagram. So yeah, everything is linked to that.
All
right. Well, thank you, Twisted Journey. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you for joining the mob.
Thank you. Y'all enjoy yourselves too. Like y'all about to
appreciate it.
Play the game right after this.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, do I leave now?
Get out.
Go away. We interviewed you now. We don't need you no more.
We did that.
If you want to stay, you can.
Was good seeing you. You don't know the black salutations. Like, yep, it was good seeing you.
You know, look, when you say for the fifth,
hands up. If you loving where you at, stand 10 toes down. Shawty ain't no looking mad. You can let them haters hate when they